brought to you by Qualcomm. Hi, and welcome to the Mobile Tech Podcast. I'm your host, Miriam Jouar, and today is Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026, and I'm in London for Samsung Galaxy Unpacked, and I'm here with Qualcomm SVP and GM of Mobile, Chris Patrick. Hi, Chris.
All right. Hi, Miriam.
Nice to see you.
All right.
Nice to have you on the show again.
Nice to see you.
A pleasure. So we've got some devices here. This is the Z Fold8 Ultra, and you're holding the...
I'm holding the Z Fold8.
Do you want to bring it a little
right,
closer?
I will.
Yeah,
There
we go.
All right,
and so we want to chat with you guys about some of the stuff that Qualcomm's done with Samsung to make these devices as cool as they are. Obviously, they announced the Z Flip 8 that's also powered by Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, and that's the big story here. You got the same chip in all three phones.
That's right.
No matter what folding phone you decide to get, you're just going to get covered, right? And then we've got some smartwatches and smart glasses to discuss that have Qualcomm tech in them as well. So these are pretty great. I think for me, the highlight on the Z Fold Ultra is the thickness, of course, 4.1 millimeters. That's one of the thinnest folding phones available today. And, there's a bunch of software features that Samsung was able to ship that were enabled, I think, by Qualcomm's tech, which is really cool.
That's right. Yeah, I think across all these devices, you saw a host of new features, right? New AI capabilities across all three, new camera features across all three. Very impressive kind of step up across this portfolio from Samsung this year. Of course, the new aspect ratio.
Yeah,
right?
so that's, I think, the
this
big
was kind of the star of the show in many ways.
Show the audience here quickly. So for those of you who are wondering what we're showing right now, because if you're listening to the audio version, there is a video version of the podcast, and you can get it on Patreon. So check that out. And then you can see what Chris and I are talking about right now. Yeah, I think the aspect ratio, it's interesting you bring that up, because I feel like, we've seen this before, but not in recent years. Like, it's been a little while. In the early days of folding phones, Oppo did a couple of phones that were kind of, but not quite 4x3. Like, this is deliberately 4x3 when open.
That's right.
And 10x16 or 16x10 when closed. And I don't think we got quite there. Even the original Pixel Fold did not have quite that aspect ratio. But they basically all fall into what I call passport form factor, right? And did you like that? Do you think this is a cool form factor? I think it's interesting.
I think it's very interesting. It's surprising in a way. Maybe to the listeners on audio, maybe you won't. It'd be hard to understand the difference, but it feels fundamentally different. So almost really does feel like a different device category. The way Samsung really portrayed it is the larger device, more for maybe a business user or somebody who really needs to edit a presentation or write a big email or do something, consume a lot of content here, where this is a little bit more personal still. And so, it has a very different hand feel. So really a really fresh device, actually. So it's going to be an interesting choice which one you pick as a
I've been using these, the 21:9 aspect ratio, standard, basically, book-style folding phones for quite a while from other companies that you provide chips to, like,
that's right.
Oppo and Honor.
Sure.
And I'm used to it now. But sometimes, like video, for example, is pretty awkward in this form factor because it's square. And so you end up like basically having all of our bars. Whereas I think with this, it's going to be a lot better for video. And then if you flip this one over, right, like that, you now suddenly have like more of a book experience, right?
Yeah, that's
and I think that's another thing that makes this kind of cool, in my opinion.
That's right.
So I think, for me, it's a matter of more like, how does it feel in hand? How does it feel in your pocket too, right? Because it feels like a standard phone when it's closed, right? So you're used to that. But this is a little different. It's kind of like the Z Flip 8 too. Like
that's right.
It's like a makeup.
That's right.
Compact.
Yes.
Actually, what's interesting to me about this is that I feel like the passport form factor is going to be one of those things where you have to use it for a little bit to know. You can't just pick it up like we just did, because I spent about an hour with it now to do my hands-on. By the way, it's on hothardware.com, folks, if you want to check it out. And I just still don't know. I need to live with it.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, for me, it's it feels very fresh. I'm surprised how different it feels than the original Fold aspect ratio. And again, each of these is very challenging, right? So obviously challenging for Samsung. They described the new hinge technology and everything. But yeah, challenging, I think, for folks like us really building the underlying platform is how to get all this performance, these camera experiences, these kind of AI-centric use cases into this now constrained form factor. Big challenge on the platform side.
So, obviously, with the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 in these phones, you can do a lot of AI stuff, which they're bringing to the table, obviously, with Gemini integrations and stuff like that. But what do you think stands out? I think there was a feature called Fan Cam, right? That's available.
Right. That's right. I thought that was very fun.
Do you want to talk about that? And tell us
sure.
What your thoughts are on that? I think it's very neat.
Yeah, I thought they were very interesting. So I think everybody's seen using AI as for editing still photos.
Yeah.
So one of the things they had there that was very interesting was kind of live zoom. So the idea is if you had Miriam and I, and you decided, you're not interested in listening to Chris, you really want to see what Miriam's saying, like they had something so you could dynamically track one person and automatically crop and zoom on one of the figures in a video, for example. And then a variety of other features, I think called it Fan Cam. Anyway, so very interesting kind of hybrid of some of the ISP processing that, again, Qualcomm provides, and then some of the advanced AI NPU processing, again, Qualcomm provides, and putting that together on device to create something truly new.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what fascinates me every time I talk to Qualcomm is how, because you're working with Samsung, because you're working with Google, right? Like there's this kind of like nice little circle going where you feed off of each other and you keep improving the tech because you're all trying to get to that one place, which is like the best experience possible. But, like some companies like Apple, it's the all in-house, it's all very vertical. But there's, I think, a certain amount of, progress that can be made when you work as a group and partners like that. Yeah. And I think you see that in these devices a lot.
Okay, great. I'm glad you see that. That's definitely what we're striving for. I think the beauty of Android, right, is so many different solutions, right? As people like, I think this is a fun example of the Flip and the Fold Ultra and different aspect ratios. So again, the beauty of Android is the diversity, right? We can all bring different ideas to market, right? But then still, though, we have to capture the power really of cooperating across these guys. Yeah. So I think between Google and Qualcomm and Samsung, I think we have a great partnership going.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the power triads, as it were.
Yeah, like, we think so.
I feel like it's always exciting when you see that happen, and I know I'm biased too because I'm a heavy Google and Gemini user, right? Sure. So for me, any device and any chip that enables that experience in a better way is just going to be a bonus for me, right? So, but yeah, I think the other thing that stand out for me, there's a few interesting things in the devices. These are the first Samsung device with silicon carbon batteries. I know that Qualcomm doesn't directly have anything to do with that, but you do have power management chips that you make. Yeah. Systems on a chip are really integrating all kinds of subsystems that are used in these devices these days, right? And so obviously charging a silicon carbon battery is a slightly different thing than charging a regular lithium-ion battery. So as such, that expertise you guys have at Qualcomm and of course Samsung has as well comes into play. So there's a bunch of things like that.
On silicon carbon batteries, that actually does pose challenges for the SoC in the system.
I thought so.
I think, as you said, Qualcomm obviously provides a full system, right? We don't just provide a component, but really the full system. So one of the things it does is change the voltage range, right? Because the silicon anode allows you to go kind of deeper into that kind of voltage, into the capacity of the battery. So now the voltage range the whole system has to operate on is different. Anyway, so there's a number of technologies that we've invested in to make this new battery revolution possible. So anyway, very exciting to see Samsung embracing the technology. We're going to get up to 5,000.
I'm not going to lie. It's been a while coming because, competitors in China have been doing it for a while and we've benefited from it as users. And, it's hard when you see a company that has as much experience and know-how as Samsung kind of dragging their feet on that. And so finally, here we are. And I think, the fact that you enabled it is, awesome. Yeah, I feel like that's another thing that is people don't talk about, another thing people don't talk about, the integration between all the radios and all the stuff, that Qualcomm enables. And that goes actually, beyond the devices into accessories and other devices. Wearables, for example, like 2 watches were announced.
That's right. That's right.
The Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 and the Galaxy Watch 9. And both are powered by Snapdragon Wear Elite. The first times, right? The first time that chip was announced a while back, I want to say. And I was waiting for that shoe to drop. Like, okay, where are the devices?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
So we're very excited, very excited. And again, it's the same DNA really as mobile. Like you talked about the different functions we have in these mobile SoCs, right? Pretty amazing. I think again, I've had a chance to see it firsthand. But in these incredibly small devices, we pack in modem capabilities and Wi-Fi and GPS and GPUs and AI accelerators all into these incredible diverse form factors. So the watch is even more challenging, right? Because again, even smaller battery, and so we have to cram all these technologies in there. So we're very proud now of this new partnership with Samsung. First 2 devices launched today. We're packing in some of those same technologies, ultra low power, AI accelerators, GPU technologies.
Yeah, AI on your smartwatch. It's a thing because I use wearable devices. I'm wearing a bunch of different ones powered by different technologies. I've got a Fitbit Air here. I've got a OnePlus Watch 3 and an Ultra Human Ring.
Sure.
Right? And the reason I'm wearing 3 devices is because I want to see how what they decide my data should look like. They all have a slight different take on it. And they all use AI, right? That's the thing that's really been changing, I think, wellness, health, and fitness lately with wearables is the AI analysis of the data. You get this treasure trove of data. How do you sort through it to make sense for the customer? And I think Samsung has a lot of experience with that with Samsung Health. I've used the Galaxy Ring. I've used the Galaxy Watches before. And you guys enable that AI processing on device for this massive amount of sensor data so that it doesn't have to upload everything to the cloud every time and get, delayed reaction of whatever your metric you're trying to analyze, right? So I think that's another thing that's really exciting to me. And having, the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi radios need to talk to one another between these devices. And you guys have expertise in that too. So,
absolutely. Yeah, pretty amazing the systems that I think Samsung has now built that, they emphasize today. So local AI processing on the watch. So the watch can process the sensor data locally. But then, you have the host on the phone. Essentially, it has additional capabilities, additional battery, additional context. And the two of these can work together to produce some pretty startling insights.
And then you've got the third layer, which is the cloud, right?
And then you have the third layer, which is the cloud.
So it's like you got this 3-tiered system. And I think this is where we're going more and more, right? I think we're going to start seeing some people take their Apple Watch, for example, for a run and have earbuds connect to it and don't have their phone. The earbuds are not doing AI yet. They're doing DSP, but it was only a matter of time because, there's talk of cameras in earbuds and stuff. So my point is we're going to get there where we have these multi-tiered levels of AI processing where the phone is a part of it, the cloud's a part of it, your wearables are a part of it. And, to me, as somebody who's a big fan of earbuds as well, earbuds are wearable, and they're a big part of that too. And you guys have Snapdragon Sound as a platform for that.
Absolutely.
I think it's really interesting to see where we're going with these. There's also glasses, right? Smart glasses.
That's
the partnership that Samsung has with Warby Parker and Gentle Monster was showcased a little more today. It actually surprised us to me because we get briefed in advance. My audience knows this. And we were not briefed on that aspect. Like we knew it was coming. The announcement had been made a while back. And I know it's powered by Snapdragon, but I didn't know, we got a lot of details today about, what the glasses can do, what they look like, and that's very exciting. I'm a big fan of the idea because for me, I use Gemini more than anything else for AI, and having, a wearable device that can record video and take photos first person for me as a content creator is awesome. But I also, if I'm going to use the assistant, I don't want another assistant than Gemini, right?
Yeah.
So
they showed some powerful things today. So that was some of the most powerful moments in the Unpacked today.
What's the platform you're using on the glasses?
AR1 Gen 1.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So 3 categories of devices with Snapdragon today, and then the other thing that we don't talk about is the batteries are one part of it. The batteries are getting better in terms of density and reducing the size and more power output, more longevity, but that's also enabled by the chipsets.
100%.
A lot of people don't understand that. And the software that drives the chipsets, right? Like in this case, it's a combination of firmware that's provided by Qualcomm and a combination of Samsung's software and Google's software, Android.
That's right.
And all of that has to work together. It's really challenging. So
one thing, again, they shared today, again, where we're excited is, some of the capabilities of the chipset and how integral it is in that product definition. So again, new levels of AI performance and GPU performance and CPU performance, and all of it tied together with power efficiency. Because in the wearable, that remains, in the phone, it's very important, but in a wearable, it's critical.
The smaller you go, the more important it gets.
It's exactly.
And we all want these smart glasses that, can give you directions while you're walking down the street, or let you capture your family moments to last all day. Right now, the big problem with what's on the market is, you can wear them for 2, 3, 4 hours, and then what? Do I have to go back to my other pair of glasses? Do I have to get 2 prescriptions filled?
Right.
It gets pretty costly, right? Like the frames are expensive because they have technology in them. And then you have to get the lenses made for 2 pairs of glasses. If you could wear that Warby Parker or Gentle Monster glass all day and know you can use them all day, that would be amazing. And that's where, silicon carbon batteries, Snapdragon chipsets, power efficiency, and software comes in, right?
I think what they announced today was 9 hours of battery life. So I think very
that's
interesting.
Exactly what I was trying to piggyback on that.
Very interesting.
It's a pretty decent amount. I was really surprised, honestly.
I think so.
It's the best we've seen yet.
Yeah. So, I thought it was fascinating. I don't know if you had the same impression of the multi-device use cases they talked about. So, for example, they had just, it was sort of a simple use case in a way, but very compelling, is you're brainstorming with a friend or your colleague, and you have a great idea up on the whiteboard or something, and you wanted to capture it. And so they had an example of, you on your watch, you say capture, it captures it on your glasses, move that image from the captured by the glasses to the phone, go right into, I think, Gemini Notebook it's called now.
That's right.
And then you could go back to that and try to distill it, get a summary of the meeting.
Yeah.
So these multiple things working together, these multiple devices working together, I think is going to unlock this new set of use cases. It's going to be very compelling, make a big difference to end users.
And I think, what's interesting to me is that, we have at every level here, Qualcomm Snapdragon platform, and, you've got partners, whether it's Google creating the software like, Gemini Notebook, or, Samsung creating the hardware, that are basically making sure that all of this works together. And that's the challenge, but also the joy of the result, right?
That's exactly right.
What's happening at the end.
That's right. And I think what you'd hear is, what I heard today is really all, like Christian Amann was there and spoke, Rick Oslo spoke, TM and Won Jun Choi from Samsung spoke, and they all talked about how to use kind of AI and use technology to solve real world problems, real user problems, where the technology can fade into the background, but you can have solutions that help your health, make tasks easier. So I think that's the exciting thing, is all this stuff, all this technology coming together in the end to make your life easier, to make your life more fulfilling, more exciting. So it's exciting.
Yeah, my audience is tech savvy, early adopters, so we're looking at the tech, but ultimately when I talk to people out there that are not techies and, about tech, they just want a good experience.
Right.
And speaking of Qualcomm, the Snapdragon Summit's coming up September 22nd, 24th.
That's right.
I'll be there in Maui.
Okay.
So what should we be expecting? Anything? I know you can't talk about future stuff, but can you tease us a little bit? Can you get us excited?
Yeah, it's always fun at Snapdragon Summit because we always have a variety of really interesting technologies to share. So we'll show you some latest kind of cutting edge solutions we have across different technology spaces, and then not every time, but in the past, we've shown a brand new mobile platform often that really drives this next heartbeat for Android Premium. So stay tuned. I think we'll have some fun things to share.
Absolutely. You know what else is exciting to me, and we see that at the summit too, is automotive, right? That's another area that Qualcomm plays in that I follow. I do a lot of car tech stuff, and when I was at CS with you guys, we know there's a lot more car content there. And it's fascinating to see also how, the same technologies that you have kind of spearheaded in mobile has spread down to the wearables, smart glasses, watches. But it's also, now on PCs.
That's right.
With, Qualcomm Snapdragon X platform, and on automotive. A lot of the benefits of that efficiency we're talking about are trickling down to all these areas. And that to me is what really drives me as, an engineer turned journalist, because I'm like, oh, this is where the cool stuff is going on.
It is fascinating. I think the whole world is, I feel like it's kind of come to where Qualcomm has always been. It's advanced kind of
that's
AI,
my point.
advanced
Like,
GPU.
I've
It's
been saying
exciting.
for years, from the very early days of ARM, that ARM would eat the world, that it was the only way to fly going forward.
Right.
But I didn't really think that the phone would drive so much of the innovation around ARM to integrate what we call an SoC today, and that proliferate into all these other devices, bigger and smaller, cars being so big. That's the thing that really kind of blows my mind and makes me really excited.
Yeah, we sometimes say mobile is where you go to kind of develop big muscles, because the resistance is there, the challenge is there. We do, because again, incredibly challenging platform, just with form factor constraints, and so that's where really you go to kind of develop new technologies and really pressure test them. And then the Qualcomm business model is, once we develop these incredible technologies in mobile, how can we apply them to every space? We recently announced all the way up to data center.
Yeah,
so we have solutions going from kind of milliwatts up to kilowatts now of power in solutions. So we find there's more commonality than differences across these different product areas, all powered by these same technologies.
Yeah, it's great. Well, on that note, we should wrap up. So thanks, Chris, for being my guest on the show. And,
see you again.
Chatting about these cool devices. You want to hold them up one more time? Turn it on really quick. Folks, I'm going to have some more content about these devices on the podcast in the next few days and weeks, so stay tuned for all that, all right? Thanks, Chris.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
And we're back, folks, with Mr. Michael Fisher.
Hello.
Mr. Mobile.
Miriam.
Mr. Folding Phone.
Mr. Foldable himself.
Mr. Foldable, that's it.
What a dumb second name. I need to come up with a better one.
Dude.
Mr. Hinge doesn't work, though.
Unhinged.
Hey, today, I've had so much coffee today, you were going to get a very unhinged me.
I need coffee is really what I need, but I have water.
Cheers.
Cheers. So listen, I just had Chris Patrick from Qualcomm, and we talked a lot about the fact that, it's interesting that this was kind of the Qualcomm show in many ways, because we had the phones all three phones have a Snapdragon 880 Gen 5.
In the US, yeah.
In the US. I know that the Flip has the Exynos in other markets, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
And as far as they're concerned, they're in every phone.
Yeah.
And then
for us,
also the smartwatches and the smart glasses.
Yeah.
I'm kind of annoyed that Samsung didn't brief us about all that stuff they're going to talk about on the glasses. Because I'm super excited about the glasses.
So I'm annoyed too, but for a different reason, I think.
It had Qualcomm in it. I didn't know that.
We were not briefed on the glasses, which led me to believe that we would get this like sea change massive splash release. And it was like, the glasses, may well outperform and they have some cool tricks up their sleeve, but like they're doing a Meta Ray-Ban version. They're doing a Google version of Meta Ray-Bans. Like there's no displays in them. There's a single camera. There's speakers. And they have a very familiar feature set. And I'm like, great. I kind of was expecting more.
Does this upset you? Because I don't want to have anything to do with Meta. So this is my chance to finally get my Gemini on.
Which is fantastic.
In a pair of smart glasses.
No, you're absolutely right. I know, but I just was expecting, given how much secrecy, given how long the lead up has been toward it, I've been waiting since I.O. to look at these. And then I held them and I'm like, oh yeah, right. I have held the Meta Ray-Bans, except these are not the Meta Ray-Bans, but they feel and look exactly like them and their feature set is the same, except it's Google and then not Meta, which for some people will be plenty. But not for me, I don't think. But we'll see. I'm
having a brain fart. I want to make sure we're recording on the phone.
Good idea.
Yes, we are. So, look, I agree with you, but I feel like I wished I had given us a heads up they were going to talk about the glasses.
Oh, sure. But
And I didn't realize it was Snapdragon powered.
I didn't either. I didn't realize that. I didn't clock that for the watch either.
Well, I knew that because I got the press
one.
release and I wrote up the technical specs and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about these phones. Okay.
Yeah,
I have
phone time.
so many, like Mr. Foldable here.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, for those of you watching on Patreon, and I mentioned Patreon earlier in the show with Chris from Qualcomm, but I didn't want to, kind of hijack their part of the show, so I didn't get into detail. There is a video version of this, but if you're listening to audio, we're going to be showing devices right now, and you're going to have to live through it. I tend to cut out the stuff that's like very specific, where you hear the rustling noises and stuff.
Or me accidentally hitting my lav mic.
That happens. But my point is, if you go on Patreon, you can subscribe to the video version of this podcast, and you get it a day in advance from the audio-free version, and you get it. There's generally a little extra content.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know it came out early
over
because
time.
I'm still a patron, but I don't watch it early.
Well, there you go. I mean, you could listen to it early, but the audio version has sometimes a little less content because the video version gets a little more. There's bloopers in the video version, and unboxings, which I mean, I do leave the unboxing in the audio version. You listen, but it's just like I try to like make it not annoying for the listener.
Yes.
Whereas we can get carried away on Patreon. So patreon.com/TNKGRL is where you'll get the video version. Comes out daily every week for $5 a month. So check it out.
Well worth it.
So now we can unbox this sucker. Okay, so this is the Galaxy Z Fold8 Ultra. First of all, before I do, first rant.
Are you going for it?
Ultra.
I knew you were going to do this. You've been spending all year making an excellent point about the Ultra. No,
I'm glad you're listening because I feel like I'm talking to a freaking wall.
I know. Well, we always feel that way, but no, you make a great point. You consistently have said that Ultra is an inappropriate designator given how often Samsung is being lapped by the Chinese.
I had a conversation with somebody from Samsung yesterday that I've never met before. I don't even remember her name. Lovely lady at the party last night, and I told her what I've told every Samsung person, and is that you can't have Ultra until it's a Halo flagship device that sells in quantities of 100,000. If you're in the millions like Apple and the S26 series we have today, you're not doing Ultra. Ultra means low quantity, absolutely everything perfectly, most tech possible. Price doesn't matter. Like, I don't even care at that point if it's a $2,000 bar phone.
I agree. Ultra should be
Ultra.
Yeah.
And Samsung's always messed that up. Yeah. And Samsung could fix that by following in Apple's lead, where they make a Pro and a Pro Max, same phones, different sizes. And then Samsung could make an Ultra bar phone that competes with the Oppos and Vivos.
Pull out all the stops.
And just...
Money is no object.
Like, exactly. And the point I'm making there is that you can just go like, I want to buy the Ultra, but I can't because I don't have the money. So I'm going to go to the carrier store and get my $10 a month Pro Max. And that's the quantity seller. There's a strategy there that they don't seem to get. And that's why I'm vexed by this name that they also continuity, like you're a voice actor.
Yes.
You understand movies and television and radio and podcasts.
Yes.
And YouTube.
Yeah.
Apparently you understand YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. From time to time.
You don't rename a product.
Well, I don't know. Weren't they backed into a corner? Obviously, they didn't have to rename the Flip. They did. They needed to do something. They needed to call this something other than Galaxy Fold8 Wide. And we'll talk about this one in a second. The Squad Boy.
Yeah, but
they couldn't call that Wide.
No,
that's a dumb product.
No, but
name, right?
now this is Ultra, and Apple's going to come out with Ultra, which is wide. You see my problem?
It'll be confusing.
Not only that, but this is the successor, the Galaxy Z Fold8 Ultra, and I'm emphasizing it for video watchers here. This is replaced with Z Fold 7, which is right in Michael's hand.
Yes.
So that makes no sense. Because now you're thinking, if you're the average consumer, you're like, oh, I'm going to buy the Z Fold 8. And then all of a sudden you get a wide phone and you're with less cameras and thicker and less battery. And you're like, what?
So, okay, I agree. If they're going to make a change like that, it's a major change and they have to do it intentionally. I think during the design briefing that we had, I got to hear a little bit of the sort of reasoning behind that. And it seems to me, again, this could be totally wrong. It seems to me that by renaming this, the Squat Boy, the Z Fold 8.
I keep calling it the Wide Boy.
The Wide Boy. They are placing some institutional faith behind it. I believe that they are planning on selling more of these than either the Flip or the Ultra, and I think this will be the new shape of the Z Fold going forward. I think
more than the Edge?
Yes. Wait, more than the Edge?
There's a logic here.
More than the Galaxy S26 Edge? Yeah, I think they will sell more than 400 of these, yeah.
Yeah, okay, here's my argument.
Okay.
Like, I agree with you. This is going to be, I think this is going to be hit.
This is going to be the volume
It's going to be a hit,
seller,
and it's going to be, or it's going to die.
Relatively speaking,
it's going to be,
it's still too expensive, but we'll get to that.
It's going to be a hit or die, but it's only going to be a hit because right now, I think it's a really great form factor. But then it could die because Apple might eat their lunch.
So, yeah.
So that's why I don't call this the Ultra. Call this the Ultra.
But this isn't Ultra. No, that makes no sense.
If you're going to go by Samsung's Ultra
you just look at it. You just look at it for 2 seconds and you know.
Yeah, right.
You know. You see the Ultra, it's missing a camera.
So
in that case, Apple doesn't make any sense either.
We need to come up with a name for it.
Okay, we will by the end of the
Wide is not good.
Squat.
We've agreed.
The Samsung Galaxy Squat.
Oh my God, this is why I love having
Galaxy
you on the show.
girthy.
This is wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're tired, folks. We're
And
tired.
hyper caffeinated. I lost my laptop. Did you know that? I don't have my laptop.
You don't know where it is.
I left it on the plane, and I got off at Heathrow, and I said, goodbye, airplane, and the airplane took off with my laptop.
And
Now
have you
it's
called them
circling
and
the world.
stuff?
Yes, it's very difficult to get things back from situations like
And
that,
it's a
unfortunately.
MacBook Pro.
Yeah, the top
It's
tier.
the one that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, the biggest.
The one
most
you bought
expensive
4
one you
years
can get.
ago or
Yeah,
whatever?
the stupid one.
Ouch.
Yeah, it sucks.
So what are you doing? Did you buy one?
No, I thankfully had backed up all my footage and had my editor friend Hayato edit the footage for me
Is
back
he
home
here?
and
Oh, he's
send
at
it to
home.
me. Yeah, thank goodness. Thank you, Hayato. But yes,
See,
that's
this
how
is
I
the
got a
extra
video up.
content you get on the Patreon, guys.
That's right, bonus only.
All right. So, okay. Look, I agree this shouldn't be called Ultra because based on the argument that Ultra should be, Ultra and Samsung's failing at Ultra, but this also should not be Ultra because of continuity and because of the fact that it's really confusing because if you're competing with Apple and the average consumer, you go like, well, I don't like Apple. I'm going to buy the Ultra from Samsung. And then you end up with a non-wide phone and you're like, well, it's not what I
You
wanted.
do get a phone with better specs. You do get a phone with more capability.
I'm going to unbox this now because, okay, well, what the hell is this? Why do they have okay, this is what happens when you get a press unit. Okay, guys, the seals that seal the box are in the box for you to reseal the box so you can sell it on eBay.
Pretty cool. Wait, that's not why you did. Wait a minute, we're
like
not allowed to do that.
I don't like this phone. I'm gonna sell on eBay. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to
You're
say,
not
what?
allowed to.
We're not allowed to do that.
You're not allowed to. Ethically, you're not allowed to. And we're not going to.
And like
okay.
federally, you're not allowed to either.
So here's the phone. Is this purple? Let's talk about the purple.
Okay, and then I need to ask you before you peel anything off if you notice anything different. The suspense of this silent suspense. What's missing from here?
Oh, all the text that tells you like, don't fuck up.
Don't put your credit cards in here. Don't put keys in here. Don't damage the screen. Exactly.
I mean, I just swore out. That's totally fine. I edited it out because Apple gets mad.
What about F-bombs?
Apple Podcast.
Oh.
I can't.
You can't drop F-bombs?
No, or other words, because then it's not family friendly and then they mark you as adult.
Got it.
You've heard it. See, this is the part you get on
like
the video
being adult.
version.
Don't
anyway,
grow up. It's a
you're
trap.
right. And so, okay, the other thing, before we get to the phone itself, there is a couple of things to address, and that's the lack of anything in the box. This is the other side of the box.
Remember when these things used to come with everything short of a free car in the box?
You and I are old and cranky and in pain. And tired.
Definitely.
And we now must mourn the days when everything came in the box.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so in the box is, wow, I really hate this tray thing they do. Okay, there's a SIM removal tool, and then there is a cable, which is the C2C boring, and then there is manuals. Do you even have manuals?
Such a bummer for $18.99.
Do we even need a manual?
I hate to dwell on
Why
this.
do we have a manual? $18.99.
Couldn't make it feel a little better.
This
Couldn't
is
do a
20.
Oh, this is
$20.99.
Wait, no, it's not.
Yes, it's the 2099.
Oh, that's the Ultra. Sorry, I thought you were unboxing the Wide. Sorry.
See the naming? See what I
we're
made
just
my
tired.
point.
We're just tired.
I made my point. Anyway, the phone. Okay, so this is a purple color, and I need you to get your little rant on about the purple color.
What purple color?
It's not very purple.
Dude.
Okay. Also, it's a fingerprint magnet. Oh my God, it's so bad.
I
When I was taking photos of this dust, fingerprints,
I don't care. It was true with the blue one too, but look how beautiful the blue Fold 7 was.
blue is amazing.
Maybe not in this room. The light's a little dim.
Okay, I think the green is the one.
They made me so happy last year. They gave us a brilliant blue
I
color.
already have
All
a
these are too
fingerprint.
muted. And we bothered them at the design session so much. And it was like, why? And they're like, we want it to be whatever, classy. We want it to be
Let's do
high-end.
this. Let's do this.
High-end
Ready?
people like
Okay, this
colors
is
too.
gonna be ASMR. Ready? Ooh, that was good actually.
That wasn't that great. I've heard better.
Was it not good?
No. Are you sure? It's so gross. Wait, there's I hate this. No, you just lost all your listeners. Let's stop.
Are you ready? I don't think that works.
I would have tuned out right away. Delete that.
This is the most unhinged podcast I've done in a long time. Thanks,
I love
Michael.
a foldable event. I love a foldable event. I'm so excited about these. Go ahead.
I'm gonna turn it on.
Okay.
See what happens.
See, I can't see any shade of purple in that. This is what drives me nuts.
Okay. Let's show the audience. Okay, why is it not turning on?
So it's a longer press and hold this time for some reason. It
I'm
takes
too old
a
for
second.
this.
I know.
Yeah, wow, it really does.
It really does, yeah. Is the inner screen on?
No. Is it charged? Oh,
Yeah,
there we go.
yeah,
it's
yeah.
alive. Okay. Oh,
Yes,
both sides.
something
Oh,
about
that's
the boot.
interesting. They boot. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Same with
All
the
right.
flip,
So,
yeah.
what do you guys think this color is? To me, it's a deep purple. Yeah,
Dude, it's like
rockin'.
black gray with a hint of violet. And this is the problem. Like, I can't get behind the design mentality of like, we really wanted to be subtle with it. And it's like, you don't have to be wild. You don't have to do a phone the shade of your
This
bandana.
was perfect.
Right. Like the blue last
This
year
blue.
was heavenly. And this is like, if you're going to make purple, make it purple. Don't
Okay.
do this like half
All right.
measure.
Welcome. And I'm not going to set it up, but I'm just going to close it
The
for the
first
first time.
fold.
First fold. Oh, the pain.
Do you feel the titanium doing its thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
I want to talk about that.
I like the hinge mechanism a lot
So,
on both phones.
I'm obsessed.
It's really
On all three.
Oh,
They've
even the flip?
So it's not titanium on the flip, but they have retuned the action on all three. Did that feel good?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
ASMR.
So
Oh, this
now
is
do the Fold 7
okay.
and tell
side by side.
the viewers what the difference is.
Oh, wow. Less clunk at the end.
It's
There's
harder
more
to
resistance. Oh, it's harder to
It's
open.
harder to
And
open
also
than the
yours
new
is
one.
creaky.
Mine has sand in it.
Okay.
Watch my video to find out why. But look. They reduced the magnet pull to make it easier to open. And they beveled the edges to make it more ergonomic. It's easier
okay.
to open. I love that.
Side story about the beveled edges.
Yes.
That's why it's 4.1 millimeters. It's actually a trick. It's not 4.1 millimeter thick.
Oh, really?
It's 4.2 millimeters, but they're not counting the bevel.
They're measuring from the
Correct.
inside.
They're doing the
what a
Honor
neat trick.
thing.
What a neat
They're
trick. That's
following
mean.
Honor. Honor did
I don't
that
like
too.
that. I don't
You
like
know
that on the spec sheet,
It's a
but I love how it
cheap-
feels.
Oh, it feels amazing.
Now, let me tell you one other thing. So, in addition to the titanium and the magnets, to achieve this feel, you know what they did?
What?
For the actual unfolding action? They changed the thickness of the UTG, specifically to get different tension out of the
I mean,
out of the
I
panel.
have to say, okay. I'm
The
not
ultra
gonna, I'm
thin
gonna
glass.
I'm gonna bitch about Samsung a lot on this podcast, but I have to say one thing about them. 7 years of foldables means that they have the best durability and the best hinge feel.
Almost best durability. I disagree with one part of that, which is the dust rating.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm just
Very
saying.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's why I have sand in my device, because there's not a proper dust rating.
So technically, the Honor and the Pixel
Have the 6.
have the 6 for the dust. But I'm just talking about durability overall.
Yeah.
Like you
Oh,
can
absolutely.
drop this. I'd be worried dropping my Pixel, maybe not Pixel, but my Oppo, for example. This I think would be yours is
I've
scuffed
beat
up.
the hell out of the Fold 7. So yes, you're absolutely right. I agree. And to its credit, the display hasn't broken, even though there's a bunch of sand
Yeah.
in the hinge. But yes, I agree. And that experience matters a lot. I'm a little worried that I'm going to come off like a shill next to you, because I know you have a lot of complaints that I think I don't, but I have different complaints. And one of mine is the dust rating. And it is because when we asked about it yesterday, and you were there for this, they leaned, the Samsung executive leaned on that kind of old chestnut of marketing speak, which is, we really don't care about the specs as much as the user experience, talking about the IP rating. And I just like wrote in my note on the pen and paper that goes like, IP rating is like user experience. And I'm grinding away with my sandy hinge. Should I have brought my foldable to the beach? No. But 7 years in, I shouldn't worry about bringing my foldable to the beach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me the dust rating. Anyway.
Speaking of dust, I dropped this the wrong way, and now it's dusty.
You don't need to
It's
say
terrible.
that. It's okay.
This is the adhesive cover. It's fallen onto the carpet. Okay, so look, my gripe with this phone, the Ultra, is that it's called Ultra and it's continuation of a non-Ultra, and it's also not Ultra. There's all that Ultra stuff. The color, I like purple, but this is a deep purple and it's barely purple.
And there's a white one. There's a white one.
There's a white one. And there's a green one.
And there's a green.
The green one is dark though too.
Yep.
I don't know what with the dark colors. They were doing so well.
Don't like it.
Anyhow, my gripe is this. Yes, we got silicon carbon apparently on all 3 phones, but you wouldn't know it looking at the numbers. Like 5,000 milliamp hours, you could probably do that without silicon carbon. So I'm wondering, like, we asked the question, how much percentage of silicon doping is there in the anode? And they wouldn't answer that, which is smart of them. A lot of companies keep that secret, to be fair.
Yeah.
When I did my silicon carbon battery research story that's on Tom's guide, so very in-depth. I interviewed Honor, I interviewed Oppo and OnePlus.
Yeah.
You should read it. But my point is, I found out that, they don't like talking about the percentage. And when they do, they're very kind of like last year's version.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So that's the new competitive edge, is percentage of silicon in the
Honor
anode.
is absolutely winning.
Interesting.
Like by like a long shot. Like if you drew a line, Samsung's at the very bottom of the scale, and Oppo is kind of somewhere in the middle, like 2/3 of the way, and then there's Honor up there somewhere in the higher.
Samsung went into a great detail about how they construct their batteries, so much detail that I was really grateful to be at that session, because I've never seen a manufacturer go as deep into talking about how their batteries are constructed. A lot of it went over my head, frankly, but I was left with the impression, as I suspect was the intent, that Samsung was added as much capacity as it was comfortable doing while maintaining the safety margins that are going to prevent another Note 7 disaster. Because they did say, like, your silicon carbon, it ages faster, it's worse.
I've been saying it, this, because you listen to the show, PTSD from the Note 7 is real. I don't take that away from them.
Absolutely.
I am glad they went silicon carbon, if it's like 1% or 5% or whatever they did. It is absolutely great that this same exact form factor device, same essentially dimensions, I told you about the 4.2 versus 4.1, but that's because of the edge. And because the close, it's the same size, 8.9. So it's the same thickness.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then weight is exactly the same, which is actually pretty impressive because they changed one of the camera modules and the batteries are different. So that's
because
actually
of that new titanium layer on the display.
So there you go. But the point is, I think that I still love the industrial design, the materials, the build quality of this product.
Yes.
That being said, 5,000 is a big improvement over 4,400, but 5,000 then compared to even my Fine N6 in my pocket at 6,000, or like the Magic V6 from Honor at 6,600 up to 7,150
for China.
On the terabyte model, I think 68 something on the other models.
Yeah,
like
I know.
I mean, and didn't Pixel do 5,000 already?
I don't remember. Frankly,
it's close.
Yeah.
So. Look, it's good, and then you then 4,800 on the wide, and then 4,300 is exactly the same. So why is there silicon carbon? Because it's a little thinner, the flip this year?
Yeah, it is thinner. It is the thinnest and lightest flip ever,
180
apparently.
grams is pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just like happy to silicon carbon, but then and the charging speeds are faster on the two book-style folding phones at 45-watt wired, 20-watt wireless. Still no Qi 2 magnets.
Which is a bummer, but of course, because their priority was thin and light, and that's what they kept saying.
But you compare this to what is in my pocket, the Oppo Find N6, right? I mean, you compare it to this phone, you compare it to the Honor, you compare it, even to whatever Vivo is coming up with next. It's like, it's a joke. It's like, you're not in the same league for charging speed, you're not in the same league for battery life, and then you're not in the same league for cameras. And as a photography buff, that pisses me off. That 3x 10 megapixel telephoto shouldn't even exist.
We've been on the same page about that all year. I fully agree. However, now here's the problem. I think Samsung plays the game of what is good enough, and they play it pretty well based on the volumes they tend to do. Right? I was sitting there with the wide boy, at the demo area, and I had already written and recorded my script. I could not change what I said, which was complaining about the Ultra's 10 megapixel camera, yada, yada, and then complaining about the wide boy's lack of a telephoto camera completely. And then I zoom in on Daniel Sin, who's down the table, fellow creator, Daniel Sin.
And this with the wide boy.
With the wide boy, and I zoom in on him to get the shot to demonstrate how the cropping sucks. And I'm like, man, try as I might, I can't make that look bad. That's a good shot. And he was all the way across the room. And I understand they will still underperform. I'm not trying to be an apologist for it, but I think for most people, they're going to have that experience in the store even. They're going to be like 2 cameras, and then they'll try and zoom in on something outside the store door, and they'll get the shot of the dog or whatever, and it'll be good enough. Yeah. Exactly. So I think Samsung, that's the thing. They seem to want to emulate as well as the other stuff that they sort of shamelessly rip off from Apple. They seem to want to do the same supply chain optimization. Yeah. They seem to want to not overspend where they don't have to.
So here's the problem I have with this telephoto situation. Obviously all you said is right. I've been saying it all year, and this is why I brought up the edge. and I want to talk about the Edge with respect to the wide boy later. The Edge has the exact same camera system as Z Fold 7, minus the telephoto. And when you do a side-by-side 10x still in decent light, it comes out better on the Edge.
Because it's not even engaging the telephoto that it doesn't have.
So why don't you just put a sticker on that telephoto?
A net negative.
Like, it's a sticker cam.
Yeah. I get it. I know.
So anyway, and then you have, again, the elephant in the room, China, with 50 megapixel, 64 megapixel, periscope telephotos, large sensors, lots of really great optics. And Honor is the best, in my opinion, at quality. But I like the color science on Oppo better.
Me too.
And then there is, I haven't seen Vivo and Xiaomi in a while in that field. But my point is, like, that's what an Ultra phone, if you're going to call it Ultra, that's what it should have.
You're right. Question, though, how relevant is that given Samsung's priorities? I genuinely don't know this. This is not a rhetorical question. Are they focused on competing directly with those competitors in China, or are they more focused on North America and the entire rest of the world? Have they just given up on China, on competing with those foldables in China?
I think Samsung's problem in general is that they are not creating their own universe. They are following Apple's lead on everything.
It's hard to argue against that.
And then they have a part of the company that's super creative and innovative and tech-driven that gives us things like the Note, the Galaxy camera, and the Fold.
The Fold in the first place.
Exactly.
The Flip in the first place.
And the Flip in the first. And those people are the ones that are constantly in tension fighting with the marketing, we need to follow Apple gurus.
Yes.
And that's why this company doesn't seem to be competing with the Chinese. They should be, though, because of all the Android players that are non-Chinese, Google, and then Google, and then that's it, and Samsung. Well, Samsung is absolutely has the lead in terms of technology. Yeah. We don't have LG anymore.
I know.
So my point is, they should nail it. They should go after that and kind of, follow their own path. They have their own ecosystem too already. So
they'll have to at one point. They will have to at one point because they will achieve as much success as they feel they can do in other markets, and they'll have to turn their attention to China. And then we will get our Galaxy Fold 9 Ultra Mega.
Remember the
Giga Ohm.
Remember the phones they had in China that were China only market phones. There were these flip phones before the folding, the W series.
Yeah.
W series.
Yep.
They were made for China only. They were only sold in China.
Right. So, I mean, there's precedent for this.
Now they rebadge these as Ws.
I know, but they're not.
But they're not competitive.
Do well. They paint them gold or whatever.
So, and some of the audience, I can already hear the comments, and it's like, well, who cares? We're in North America and in Europe. Right. Like, you can't get the Oppo, you can't get the.
Yeah, sometimes that's.
But here's the problem. That wasn't an issue last year. Samsung had they had the center stage, especially because the Z Fold 7 was a massive improvement over the predecessor. But now we have Razer Fold.
Razer Fold is not in the conversation, I don't think.
Razer Fold has better batteries, better cameras, and pen input, which, by the way, is still missing on this phone.
What is its carrier presence? Is it on Verizon?
It's available in the US. You can buy it.
You can buy it unlocked, but you can't get it in the carrier stores.
No, but you can get it.
So it's totally irrelevant.
Okay.
So it's irrelevant. Okay. Like and also when you pick up the Razer Fold, I like this phone. I like its camera way better. I like it. To your point. Oh, it's superior in so many ways.
It's really good.
But when I pick it up, you know what I feel like? I feel like the great 2022 industrial design. When I pick up the Fold 7, I still, even after 11 months, I still feel joy.
Yeah.
I'm like, how'd they put this much phone in this tiny little thin thing? So I think Samsung really did hit a home run with this last year, and I think that will continue to serve them well with this generation, especially since they're in the carrier stores.
Right.
That
is a very good argument, and I think for me it doesn't matter, but I feel like it matters for a lot of people. I just think that I'm trying to say the landscape is a little different this year because the Fold does exist, has support, is a good phone. It's not as wow as this phone.
It's a very good phone.
But it's very good. And if you're like the pragmatic, reasonable person, and you look and you buy the phones up front or something, you pay your own money, it's the better choice. You get more phone, better battery, better camera, pen input, and practicality-wise, like day-to-day use-wise, I think it's as good of a phone, if not better.
I wasn't on to talk about the Razer Fold.
Because here's the other thing.
Because the stylus is also you can't. No, it's not. It's totally irrelevant. Because Motorola screwed the pooch on it by not shipping a case where you can dock the stylus.
Here's the thing. I personally don't care about the stylus. My biggest issue with the Z Fold 7 dropping the stylus and the Z Fold 8 Ultra and Z Fold 8 not having the stylus, again, is that they invented the freaking stylus. They proved Steve Jobs wrong with the S Pen, and they dropped it.
And they made that 1% of buyers so angry because
they invented it. You've got Moto doing the stupid lipstick thing, and you've got Oppo doing the stupid case with the stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I personally don't care about pen input, but here's the thing. From a tech nerd engineering perspective, all these phones from the Chinese, including the Novo, have pen input.
But they have pen input, but you can't put the pen anywhere. You got to put on that dinky, stupid case. You got to carry the lipstick thing. Like,
some
who cares?
people don't have a problem with that.
I think that yes, and I think Samsung probably looked at the numbers and said, like, okay, those 5,500 people, we can lose them.
Yeah.
And you want we want to do? We want to make a display that doesn't have a digitizer, so we can make the thinnest possible phone. And we don't care about the pen people.
Whereas again, I see the word Ultra, and I'm like,
oh no, you're right.
You didn't put that freaking digitizer.
You're 100% right about that. They should have called this the Galaxy Fold 7 Mega or Fold 8 Mega.
And Honor Magic V6 is 4.1 millimeters.
But then you got to use
and has a digitizer.
I told you I was going to sound like a shill. I told you I was going to sound like a shill. But these are good business decisions for Samsung
Oppo
to
Find
make.
N6, I never use with a pen, has a digitizer.
Now, I can't
it's 4.2 millimeters.
The only thing I can say about that is I can complain a little about the software, but that's an amazing phone.
It's an amazing phone.
The Find N6 is the best.
And here's the thing. It has less crease after 4 months than this is going to have in a week.
Although, should we talk about the titanium though? Because I got told something that I was told was exclusive information.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
Now, I know you probably have some engineers in your audience. Of course, everybody knows that the two new layers on the display this year for Fold 8 Ultra and Fold 8 are titanium, with the titanium base layer and titanium flex. Yeah, the titanium film or whatever. What I did not know,
thinner than a human hair.
Yeah,
but I did not know. They told me that so many times.
Was that the titanium's ductility or whatever? It'll restore to an extent. So if you get a crease in it,
so it's memory,
and then you leave it if you leave it open overnight or something like that, it'll sort of erase a bit of the crease. Kind of reminded me of LG's claim on the old G Flex. It was like scratch it and the scratches will go away. And that sort of worked, but sort of didn't.
Worked, yeah.
So that's cool, huge if true. B of all, this will only be interesting to foldable nerds, but I think from a longevity standpoint,
I mean, what podcast are you?
Here we are.
Hello.
There was this problem that I think a lot of people can remember from the first few generations of Galaxy foldables, where as they aged, the screen protector would delaminate down the center.
God, it's happening to Theo's Razr right now.
Oh, it's so gross. We heard that Samsung took a different approach with the adhesive this year because of the titanium layer. That allowed them to add adhesive to the entire panel during the assembly process, whereas previously the adhesive was only done on left and right and not in the center. And I was like, did that contribute to the delamination of the top layer of the thing? And I kind of got a quiet nod on that. So I'm like, oh, I really hope
we're not talking about
that those days are over. Yeah, of course. Oh, how many times did we get non-answers today?
I mean, but I mean, this is interesting to me is that, this still has a crease. I was absolutely convinced coming into this briefing that we were going to be creaseless because Apple's going to make a creaseless phone and Samsung's making the display. So why wouldn't Samsung take credit first?
I think,
and also
I think
Oppo
that might
did
be the same exact. Well, Oppo did, with a Samsung panel as well. You can't feel it right now.
No, I know.
Mine's only had a few.
I have a theory. The theory is that look at my N6 after 4 months of being mostly closed. And by the way, I store all my phones when I'm not using them open. My folding phones.
You do?
Yeah, because relaxation of the layers and stuff, less stress. See, and that's how they ship them, right?
They ship them that way.
So I actually store them in my clothes drawers so that there's no shock and damage potential to the folding screen. And
you have your notifications turned on for the group chat? You're crazy.
Yes, I love my.
You're crazy.
I love the group chat.
You got to turn off the notifications.
Do you understand that?
This is why
some
you're always
of us
talking.
don't live in New York, where we see all the crew on a regular basis. This is my lifeline to you guys.
It's true. There's 40 people in there.
So what I was trying to point out is, if you look at my crease, right? It's very faint.
Yes.
Like I don't know. You can hold it and. Do you see how there's an unevenness to the crease?
Yeah.
I think Apple and Samsung are more pissed off about the unevenness than the fact that there is a crease.
Especially Apple. I think Apple would rather have a slight crease that's uniform rather than a chaotic crease.
So I think what we're seeing here is a preview of what Apple's going to have.
I think so too. And I will take this.
This is very uniform.
Especially with the anti-reflective layer that they've added now, like Oppo has.
Yeah.
It's
very nice.
This is more than livable. This is like
100%.
This is totally fine.
So I'm very impressed with that, but I really thought it would be creaseless. And then I think, going back to the Ultra, So we talked about battery, we've talked about the camera, we've talked about pen input, or the lack thereof. We've talked about the charging speeds. Those are the things that vex me about both of these phones. And then they did put a better ultra wide, 50 megapixel on the ultra. That's nice.
That is nice.
That is
As
very
somebody
nice.
who uses the ultra wide a lot,
Yeah, me too.
I will take all
think
the
that's
resolution
really
I can
nice.
get.
And that the fact that, I think the cameras are fine, not ultra worth, but and I really honestly think that Samsung should just drop the telephoto on the ultra next year. Either that or go all out, give us 50 megapixel.
No,
ultra.
yeah, exactly. Go the other direction. I mean, come on. What we need is a 5x or a 10x pusher on that. Like make it a thicker foldable. Anyway, we've been down that road. The display's brighter.
Yes.
If you were picking up on other
Displays were 3,000 nits on both of these.
Yep.
Does the Flip has a brighter screen? No. It's
No,
2600
I don't
still.
believe so.
Yeah, okay. Because last year it got up to 2600.
Yeah.
The other thing is you mentioned the layer, the anti-reflective coating.
Yep.
Also, high resolution internal 8-inch screen on the Ultra.
On the Ultra.
It is large.
It's a higher
more
res?
pixels. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It's 422 PPI versus 390 something.
Oh, that is. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so it's interesting that they did that.
Yeah. There is something else. I'm forgetting it too. Still physical SIM trays on all three, which I was happy to see.
The Flip and the Fold Ultra, which are basically the successors to previous generation, are both $100 more, which is pretty decent, honestly. It's too much money.
I don't like it.
It's too much money, but it was too much money last year.
I know, and that's the problem. Like, I know that we're in component gate, right? We're in RAM.
Yeah, no, right now it's really hard.
I know, and so it makes sense. But where we should be already, in my opinion, is down around the $1,500 price point. It's been 7 years, and the reason people aren't buying these is because they're $2,000. Who's got $2,000 for one of these?
So that segues well into talking about the wide boy, because we haven't talked much about it. We're done with the Ultra. I have said everything I need to say.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. The wide boy has me very intrigued. I want to use it to figure out if, for me, like, I like it at first impression. The verdict's still out as to what will it be like after a few days or a week in my pocket and day-to-day use, where I use the front display and the inner display, and will I still love it after that?
Yeah.
What is your take? I mean, we've both used the Google Pixel Fold.
Yes.
But that was such a prototype of a phone that it wasn't that good of an experience, really, even though it was a Pixel.
Yeah, I didn't understand why I liked this so much. Oh, it was so hot and so dim on the display.
Do you remember wearing in South Korea for the Z Fold 5 and Z Flip 5?
You guys did that.
You didn't go to South Korea.
I went the summer before you guys.
Anyhow, when we were, I had I had my review unit of the Pixel Fold.
Yes.
And it was 100 degrees outside, humid, and it
powering down.
The Tensor G2 was literally burning in my hand.
Yeah.
That phone was shutting down in terms of performance.
It was a prototype of phone, but if you also widen the scope a little bit, you think about the Pixel Fold, you think about the Oppo Find N, the Oppo Find N2. Those phones were cool. I liked using them.
I pulled out the Find N
I was playing with
6 months ago. Remember I talked about it in the chat?
Yeah.
And I used it for a day and I was blown away how good it still is.
So good.
It's so good.
But here's the thing, that even the Find N2, which made progress in this area, they were all fat boys.
Yes,
they were thick,
double the thickness of this.
I didn't realize why I liked this so much until after the content capture. I spent 3 hours with this not knowing why I liked it so much. And then somebody pointed out, it's like, yeah, this thing is what, 215 grams, 201 grams?
201 grams is the Ultra.
And the thinnest foldable, or like I forgot what the metric is on the thickness. But
this is 4.5.
This is what was missing.
This is Razer Fold thickness.
What was missing was it was a book type foldable with the thinness of a flip phone, essentially, and the wide aspect ratio.
Yeah.
So that, like, it feels so right in my hands, even though I am not usually the one to be calling for the wide aspect form factor. But today in the event, as I told you, don't have my laptop anymore. So I'm doing the whole event from my foldable, and I'm doing split screen on the Fold 7. And it's great, but all I could think about was like, oh, you know what I want? I want that 3-column view, and I want it on the wide boy. Like, you can do so many different things with this aspect ratio.
I love it.
Just doing two
intuitively, I love it, but I need the verdict's still up because I need to live with it in my pocket, live with it front and big display. And then I love the idea that you can rotate it into like ebook kind of style. Yeah.
You know what Chris Welch at Bloomberg called this?
What?
He said, you know what? It feels like a baby trifold.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's a very similar
a
aspect
total
ratio,
baby
right?
trifold. Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. And then I was like, oh yeah, I've been wanting to put my keyboard on this thing, a keyboard and mouse, my screen pocket laptop bullshit. BS. Sorry.
It's fine.
Like, I want to do that again.
Yeah, no, I'm going to definitely explore that. Here's the thing, they didn't send me a reunit, so now I have to find a way to get one after the fact. I'm going to shake the Samsung Canada PR3 for that one. And the carriers.
And the carriers.
But here's the thing. My Edge discussion is coming. I like the S25 Edge, other than the battery being not silicon carbon and not big enough. It did have 2 cameras that were pretty decent. And it was super thin, and it felt great, and it was an Android phone, and
it was an Android phone.
It totally flopped. And I think the reason it flopped, and this is why I'm worried about this, is it flopped because the Air came out 3 months later or 2 months later. And the Air came out, and so it's technically a worse phone in the sense that it has even a smaller battery, only 1 rear camera, no SIM tray, a mono speaker. I mean, the list goes on. But then it's also an iPhone. And also, I have to say, when I touched the Edge the first time, I was like, wow, this is thin and light and nice. And then I touched the Air and I was like, oh, Samsung screwed up. This is even better. This is unbelievably good. It feels like I'm holding a display, a piece of glass in my hand. That's why I wrote my review. It's like the Star Trek thing, you know. It's like I'm holding the future in my hands.
Yeah, or like an expanse terminal,
and that's
why, or something.
And that's why it killed the Edge.
I think there is something to that. Go ahead.
And my fear is that as much as we Android users and this form factor intuitively feels right to me, and I'm going to love it like I love the Edge, that thing is going to die because Apple's coming out a month from now with something like that happens to turn into an iPad when you open it.
Yeah.
And that, holy crap, all of a sudden you have a whole new software ecosystem. And spec-wise, it looks like it's going to have essentially the same displays from Samsung. It's going to have dual cameras, so it's not missing out on a camera like the Air did. So it has every reason to succeed at whatever price Apple deems it's worth, which I feel like it's going to be $22.99
I was
or
going to say $2,500.
It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
This is only $18.99, which actually is pretty good, but it's also not good because it should be $14.99.
It should be, yes.
$13.99.
$12.99 maybe. And I don't know, whatever. We're throwing out numbers here, but what I want to...
Can we do an aside about the Razer Ultra 2026 being double the price of the Razer Ultra 2025 on Amazon right now?
It is? Wait, hold on. Wait. Before I don't want to get too far away from the Edge. Can I talk about the Edge for 2 seconds?
Yes.
I think the Edge also failed, and I don't have any numbers to back this up, but it feels like it failed.
But I mean,
it's like...
They've just ignored it. It doesn't seem to exist in their world anymore.
It certainly didn't have any cultural moment whatsoever.
Nope.
But I will say this. Even when I first saw it leaked, I had left the event. I didn't know they were showing the Edge. The first time they showed it, when we weren't allowed to touch it, when it was dangling from its little fish hook. And I was like, I saw it in the group chat, and I was halfway back to the hotel, and I was like, do I go back for this? And then I looked at it, and I'm like, you know what? No. And then I held it at a hands-on a couple weeks later.
And you're like,
no. I was still like, Samsung is trying to make the case that this is a beautiful object, and that is the reason it exists. It wasn't that thin. It wasn't that beautiful. And performance-wise, it was better than the Air in performance, but it wasn't. So I expected to feel the same way about the Air. I'm not prepared to say the Air is objectively, aesthetically prettier. I don't think that's true necessarily. What sold me on the Air was when they bent one in half, and then like a piece of rubber, it returned to its original shape.
Did you see
like the Air? I bought my mother Zach jerry-rig everything. Yeah, with the beam or whatever.
It's 300 pounds before it broke or something,
dude. I got my mother one for Christmas, and she put this like hilarious like combat ready case on it that makes it this giant thing. I'm like, Mom, you could beat the hell out of this thing.
It's gonna be fun.
Stop it. Take that off of there. You don't need it. So I think the Edge didn't have that extra.
It didn't have the edge.
Hey, it didn't have the edge. It's true. So I think the Edge was kind of hobbled in a different way. Whereas this, you're right. I think it will. Obviously, we know like, iPhone people have always been the people who are like, cool foldable. I really like that, but I wish Apple would make one. I'll never leave my iPhone. This is what I always say. But so I think that'll be the case for this as well. Only Android users will continue to appreciate this. But what I'm excited about is that the competition will get fired up now in this form
for
factor.
Us, for Android users, the Apples
for Android users, yes, we will have more options in this aspect.
This is fantastic.
So yeah, I know. But you're right, the iPhone's going to run away with the show like always.
So that's like I'm kind of undecided as to predictions whether this will be like the Edge abandoned in a year or they're going to make a second model.
This is the new Fold.
You think so?
Yep. Because
And
I don't
so
think
what's
Apple
going to
will walk
happen
it back.
to
I
the
think Apple will keep
existing
making
form factor where we basically have a flagship bar phone that opens?
the tall.
Yeah.
I think they'll keep
The
making
wide
this,
and the
they'll
tall. I like
the
that.
wide and the tall. I think they'll keep making the tall boys, and I think they will make them maybe perhaps like you suggest. They'll be thicker. They'll have better specs, but at a cost of ergonomics. And they'll make the wide boy the sort of not middle tier, not mid range, not that, but the mass market version.
Yeah.
Because I think the mass market is going to Apple, for better or worse, instructs the user base what it wants, right?
Yeah.
And I think once people understand that, oh, this is what I'm supposed to want, they will want the wide form factor more. So I think this is the new Fold. This is the new reality of the Fold. And I think the outliers are they're going to be the Flip and the tall boy.
Do you think? Okay, I agree. But I'm still like, it could go on. It could be that Apple sells so well that they don't sell them, and they have no in this financial, geopolitical, economic situation we're in that they can't continue doing this.
What, that Samsung can't continue doing this? Yeah.
Because Apple ate their lunch.
Because they might not sell enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, right
so
now
that's one option. The other option is exactly what you just said, which is this becomes a de facto standard. The Chinese make it and they go nuts with it like we're used to. Yeah. And it's amazing. And we'll see.
And then the prices will come down eventually once everybody stabilizes on that. In theory, Oppo was selling their Find N2 for $1,500 back in the day.
You're right. So what about the Flip though? Like the fact there's rumors that they're going to abandon the Flip completely next year.
I saw that. How reliable were they?
I think it's possible. I think Samsung's all in on the book style. I think that you see how awkward the software is on the Flip. Even though they updated it, it's much better now.
Did you play with it?
I played with it, but it's still nothing. It's nothing close to a Razer.
Hold on. I have to be, so disclosure, Samsung did not pay me to say this. I thought, good, I feel like one, but no. I was sitting there in the briefing and they were like, yeah, we made it easier to do apps on the cover to screen now. I'm like, oh, cool. It's been 6 years.
Takes 2 steps instead of 14.
Thanks a lot. No, but you know what? It's actually easier to do than the Razer now. You just slide down to the bottom of the app tray, you hit the button, it's like multi-star, and I'm like ready for it. I'm like, tell me to open it, you stupid. No, it does it, enables,
but you have to install multi-star.
Yeah, but that takes 2 seconds.
Exist?
It's probably an architecture
Why
thing.
Is it not built right in?
I think because there's an architecture difference between how Motorola approaches it. And Motorola's approach, I love the Razer. I carry the Razer Ultra every day, but it's basically running a second phone on the cover display. Like it's not the same phone.
You're right.
So when you go into multitasking on the inside, you're like, I just had that app open on the outside. Yeah. Oh, but you're a different phone, aren't you? You don't know about that other phone on the cover. So whatever, it's different. And we can nerd out about that separately. I just like that they enabled it. They delivered finally. And I think this is going to be crap. But in the 1% chance it's not crap, I like the new Flex View, like AI thing.
I'm not against any of the stuff. I'm just worried that Samsung's like going to put all their effort in this and drop the Flip, and cede it to Moto. Moto has 3 flip phones.
Moto is crushing it,
and they're crushing it.
But I heard, I can't talk about this, but I heard something that leads me to believe that this will not be the last.
Good. Well, I'm glad because it needs to exist. It's 6.1 millimeter thick when open. It's much thinner than last year. That's great.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's also pricey, but
they're too damn expensive.
By the way,
and I asked a question about this too.
What?
Well, we didn't get a fan edition this year. We didn't get a cheap Flip.
Well,
which I think is a miss. The last cheap Flip was crap.
It was crap.
What didn't you want them to do it right? Didn't you want them to do like a really cheap Flip? They have no interest in that. Is my perception. Obviously, there's no product here, but they have no interest in that part of the market.
I think the reason they have no interest in that part of the market makes perfect sense because it's all driven by carriers and carrier subsidies in the markets where these things are successful. The only reason the base Razer exists is for prepaid and for Central and South America. In fact, I think that Moto makes too many flip phones. I think the Plus should go away.
I think the Plus should go away too.
Or the Plus price should stay, but it should be the Ultra.
Maybe.
Spec-wise.
Yeah.
See, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Amazon sells the 25 Ultra, brand new for $799.
The 25 Ultra.
Yes. Last year's Ultra
for $799. That's a good
versus
good deal.
$1399 for, is it that?
$13.99, the MSRP?
For this 26.
The 26 MSRP, I think, is $14.99.
$14.99.
They brought it up, didn't they?
So half the price, roughly, you get a little better battery and you get a slightly better camera sensor that you don't notice any difference on, and it doesn't zoom. Remember?
Alcantara.
Okay, Alcantara.
And it doesn't zoom. You read that video. Video camera is trash.
It's so bad.
Again.
Anyway, my point is like at $799, last year's Ultra is absolutely the flip phone you should be buying.
Great move.
Forget the Z Flip 8, forget the Z Flip 7, forget
Why do I want
the
to say?
new Ultra 2026, because the 25 at $799 is absolutely the price it should be at. In fact, it's lower than the price it should be at.
I am interested to see how I feel about the Z Flip. I think the Z Flip 8 will probably be like, it's what we expected, right? Like last year, Samsung reinvented the Fold and effectively reinvented the Flip.
Finally
like,
caught up
huge.
with Moto.
They finally caught up. So this year I wasn't expecting huge leaps in either of those categories. It didn't surprise me. I'm bummed out the price went up. I do have to find out through reviews how I actually feel about it. But you're right. I think Motorola is going to prove to be the better choice unless you're really dying for timely software updates or you want a video camera that works. Otherwise,
or
like, it's
you
more fun.
are invested in the Samsung ecosystem, which is undeniably very strong.
And I will say this also, to continue my shilling.
Dude.
I know, but I carried the Razr all year. I carried the Razr all year the year before that. I'm a Razr carrier. You know I love the Razr.
Yeah.
Sometimes that thing is like you go back home and that launcher, whether it's Quick Step or Niagara, takes like 3 seconds to like pop back in. It's not that it's running slowly. It's just that software every year feels a little bit more vibe coded. Did you notice the widget on the Razr this year, the Razr Ultra, that like they didn't brief us on? It shipped with this weird like to-do list thing that Motorola cooked up, and you try to use it and it's straight up broken.
I did not use it.
Okay, it sucks.
It's
and
bad.
it's like, that is indicative of a lot of the corners of the software experience. You see that Amazon affiliate code thing they let slip by
Yeah,
on the
I
Razr
heard
Fold?
about that. Oh my
This
God.
and for all of Samsung's, I have a lot of complaints about the way Samsung does software. It is still feels more mature, still feels more consistent.
I agree.
Went down to the point where when I want to take a photo, then one of those stupid influencer shots with a flip phone, and you hold your hand up and you pose, I do it with the Samsung. If I have them both, I do it with the Samsung because Samsung's going to fire every time. The Motorola is going to be like, eh.
You've been hanging out with too many Gen Zers.
I cannot say you're wrong.
I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, let's talk about our rheumatisms and you know.
Yeah, speaking of which, my hips are starting to hurt. When are we going to wrap this thing up?
I don't know. I want to quickly just cover maybe the watches.
Oh yeah, I know nothing about
and the glasses. We talked about the glasses briefly. Yeah. No. Here's what you need to know about the watches. Snapdragon Wear Elite chip. The reason that matters is because it's very, very efficient.
Okay.
3 nanometers.
Okay.
And on top of that, they've increased the battery across the board. And the Ultra Watch is thinner.
And the Ultra Watch has crazy brightness.
It's 5,000 nits. 800 milliamp hour is insane in a watch. We've never seen something that big.
I'm so out of
in
date
an
on
Android
watches.
Watch.
What is the Pixel Watch 4 or 5 or 4?
Like 400 and something.
Is it really?
500 at most.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
most watches are 400 to 500.
Yeah.
The big ones, the small ones are like 300 to 400.
Yeah, the Ultra is
So
such
800.
a chunk. So good. I'm glad.
So my point is, with that efficient chip, and I'm guessing here that 800 is a silicon carbon battery. There's no other way they could have made it thinner.
Right.
Anyhow.
Right.
Great. I love the Watch Ultra the first time around.
Yeah.
I like it again this time. I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
My OnePlus Watch 3 battery is starting to get a little shorter.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a very old watch.
I know, I'm annoyed.
That's a bummer.
However, my Pixel Watch is still pretty damn good, and there's a Pixel Watch 5 coming soon. I have the 4 right now.
These watch batteries, they do age faster. I just came to mind my Garmin Mark Captain V2 is a couple years old, but it's half the battery life it used to be.
Temperature deltas, you're really abusing the batteries in terms of environmental compared to your phone. Like your phone is always on your body against relatively, like it balances one side might be cold because it's like winter, but your body is still keeping, or it's in a cold pocket.
Whereas your wrist
this is like
there.
literally exposed, like,
Yeah.
and then you jump into a hot tub with this.
100%.
Thermal shock.
Hell
You
yeah.
don't do that with your phone. I mean, you might, but you're not putting in the water.
And I do. I'm living a wild life out here.
Crazy Mr. Foldable.
That's me.
So yeah, I mean, look, the watches are okay. And then, I think I'm more excited right now. Honestly, I'm not big on AI, but I'm excited about what's happening with AI in the wearable space in terms of making sense of all this data.
Yeah, if it works well.
Like Google.
So bad.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved using it. I still love using Google Health Coach. I talk to him like he's a person. I'm like, bro, I just ate this. Is it good?
I feel the same.
But the damn data is always wrong.
It's wrong.
I had 3 of these beers. It logs calories for 1 of the beers.
I had a magical moment with it where one time I had some issues with the placement of my Fitbit Air on my wrist. Yeah. This is my dominant wrist, and I don't want to put both of them on one side. And it wants you to wear it like this, like away from the bone. Yeah. And that's not natural for me. So I was having issues with getting bad sleep recordings where it would say I slept less and I knew I'd slept more. Then my Ultra Human Ring and my whatever watch I was wearing, was it my Pixel or whatever, would contradict what the Fitbit Air said. And so I had this magical moment where I told the coach on the Google Health app, hey, that data from the Fitbit Air is wrong. Grab the data, because they're all connected through Health Connect. Grab the data from my OnePlus Watch 3 and replace it with that one. And it did.
And it did just successfully?
Successfully.
Okay, that's cool.
And then the next day I tried again.
Yeah?
And it didn't.
And
it hasn't.
And then you were like,
hasn't done it since.
But you didn't do it like you did yesterday. And it's like, you're absolutely right to be angry.
Yeah, exactly. And
I didn't do what you asked me to do.
Yeah. And I'm like, but I'm just saying there's a lot of potential here, because here's the thing. I'm not talking really AI here. I'm talking machine learning. All this data we're gathering up, biometrics about ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not I'm not Max Weinbach. Max, you're wonderful, but I'm not obsessed like, wearing a Whoop band because I want to like really quantify and optimize. Yeah. But I'm curious to see how the data ends up between different devices and what the different AI coaches tell me, because I'm not an exercise freak, right? Compared to some people.
Same.
But I do, as I'm getting older, I do want to take care of myself.
Yeah.
And I've done some effort in that area. So I'm very happy with that. But my point is, that's why I'm being fascinated by these coaches. And so the machine learning part is totally valid. Like sorting through, can you imagine how much data it gathers in one night? Like probably like insane amount.
Absolutely.
And so I'm fascinated by that. So
I'm a little disappointed to take the flip side of that real quick. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get a classic this year. This is the only Samsung watch I will ever wear. I think Samsung's watches...
The Ring is the best.
All right. Yeah, sure. But I think... I'm a watch nerd, right?
It looks nice.
I think Samsung's watches are, by and large, extremely ugly.
You're very daring because you're actually wearing a watch face that's white.
Yes, and I'm paying the price in battery, believe me. But the classic is so beautiful. It's such a gorgeous stainless steel brushed thing on this black. It's great, and I was expecting a new classic, and we didn't get one. I don't like the Ultra principally because it doesn't include the physical bezel, and we've always talked about this. Like, we love the physical spinning bezel. The virtual bezel is not as good, and the Ultra and this damn thing... At the 3 o'clock pusher, you push it expecting it to be a home button, or at least I do. Yeah. It should be a home button. I don't want to go into the fitness mode. No, that is not what this is for.
What I like about the Ultra is I like the look of it. Like I like that
it's
manly-ish kind of like vibe.
Yes.
And I like that the battery life is amazing.
In theory.
In theory. Yeah. And it should be better now. I like that that orange band that comes with it. Like I know Apple invented it and Samsung followed, but I like...
No, there was a Nixon watch in 1997 that first had an orange band. And Apple doesn't invent everything.
I know. I like the red night mode thing.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Loom.
That's it.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know. But my point is, and I like chunky watches.
Me too.
And if I had to wear a Samsung watch and it wasn't an Ultra, I'd want it to be a classic. The regular watches are totally not my thing.
Same. Did anybody ask why we didn't get a classic this year?
Nobody did.
I wanted to ask, but I was talking about phones all the time.
We all forgot.
Bummer. I'll ask tonight. We'll get some drinks with some Samsung people. Ask.
And then I'm excited about the Warby Parker, Gentle Monster, Samsung, Google, Gemini partnership thing. Yeah. And Qualcomm is in there too, apparently.
Yes.
With the Snapdragon chips. I'm excited about those because I have not used more than to try it out, the Meta smart glasses, because I cannot wrap my head around giving Meta any of my info.
I get that, and you're right to be concerned about that.
Not for the video and photo part, but for the AI part.
See, I just don't use the AI part. I turn it off.
Well, maybe it's going to be good when it's Gemini because my entire world is in Google and Gemini.
Definitely.
And that's why I'm like,
you're right.
It's a question mark for me right now.
You're right.
But I'm like, if I'm going to wear a device that takes photos and videos, maybe I'll dip my foot into, hey, it's got Gemini and I use it and knows all my stuff. Maybe I'll actually use the AI and maybe you'll feel the same way. The reason you're not using Meta right now because it sucks.
Yeah, but also I don't frequently feel the need to point any AI at something and be like, what am I looking at?
That's not what I'm
Tell me
talking
more
about.
about
I'm
this.
talking about more like,
How do I cook this?
just like, tell me how many miles there is in a kilometer or 1.6.
Oh, you're just talking about like a voice
The other way around.
engine. Yeah.
1.6 kilometers in a mile.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Like just having,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just wish that Samsung had done something other than rebuild the Meta Ray-Bans. I can't remember if we said this at the beginning of the show or if it was off mic, but like I wish that there was something I could point to on their glasses.
Yeah, that's different.
Like different. But even down to the translucent sides where you can see the innards and stuff like that, was like, yeah, I've had these. They're good, but I wanted something more.
I hear you.
I wanted displays. Even if they're monochrome, I wanted displays.
I think this is a good place to wrap up. I don't know. I am not feeling as excited about this Unpacked as I did last year with the Z Fold 7 and the Z Flip 7.
I get that.
I am very excited about Z Fold 8, the wide boy. I want to try. I want to believe. I want to believe it's going to become a standard. I want to believe Apple's not going to eat their lunch.
Yeah.
I want to believe that I'm going to like it once I start using it for more than a day. And that is why, Samsung, if you're listening, why didn't you give me a review unit right away? I know I can probably get one the next few days, but I need it now. I'm not interested in this purple lump here.
Yeah, your problem is you're not shilling enough. You have to be like me. You have to be like, Miriam, Samsung makes the best stuff.
Is that what's happening here?
But I was going to say, like, I'm really glad that we get to have this conversation because on my video, I think I stay pretty fair. And I've said a lot of what you said, but like, this is the launch day. This is the day where it all becomes real. I get to move into the thing and I'm like, I have first day energy with a new thing. That I'm like a golden retriever. I'm like,
no, hey, that's why we are part of the reason we're tech reporters and tech influencers, and they're not creators, tech creators, is that it's the excitement of the new tech.
I think I've been thinking of rebranding as a critic. Because people don't use that word, and it was suggested to me by somebody smart.
I think that's the disconnect. I'll give you an example. My Hot Hardware hands-on is on, and they edited the crap out of it because they said, I quote, "You're too negative."
Get out of here with that. I'm sorry, not that specifically, but get out of here with that mentality.
No, but
people are not negative enough. Everyone's too positive.
That's why I think I like your renaming yourself a critic. For those of you who go and read my story now, it's been diluted a little bit. It's not as punchy as it was because this is how I opened my writing. First paragraph after the intro, which was, I'm at Samsung in London, was about the Z Fold 8 Ultra, the deep purple beast. I said, don't let the name fool you. There's nothing ultra about this phone.
Just a zinger. And you can't say you're wrong.
And they removed it.
You can't say you're wrong.
So, that's probably a good place to end.
This is why they don't like you going too negative, because to end on a bummer, it's sad. You got to bring it back up.
But I did later, because then I talked about the white boy.
No, I mean for the podcast.
Oh, yeah. But I talked about the white boy later in the story. And they said, well, they're going to stop reading and they're not going to read the white stuff. And I'm like...
It's true. Everybody just tuned out. Everybody just stopped.
No. No.
Our metrics are
No, you got to start with something controversial. Saying what I just said is perfect.
Absolutely.
Michael,
yes.
Tell people where they can find you on the internet.
Mr. Mobile on YouTube, or the Mr. Mobile on YouTube, and Captain 2 Phones on Threads. Captain, the number 2 phones. I don't thread as often as I used to, but
thread is kind of weird lately. Do you do Instagram too?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, the Mr. Mobile also on Instagram, and Captain 2 Phones also on Instagram.
And those are the main platforms.
They are. Yeah,
I don't do TikTok.
I can't.
Despite being around Gen Zers all the time.
I can't bring myself to do it. I still find short form.
It's terrible.
Just intolerable and abhorrent.
Absolutely horrible.
The worst. I will have to do it at some point to survive, I guess. Well, we'll talk about that.
You are really bumming the audience out right now.
This was my last day on Earth. Goodbye.
Because you're right, but unfortunately, we don't want to have anything to do with that, do we?
We sure don't.
No, absolutely
rather
not.
Have a newsletter, rather have a podcast like you.
No, I mean, don't do that. It's not very financially viable.
I don't care. It's much more fun than short form to me.
You know where to find me, folks. I'm at Tankgirl, TNKGRL, like the comic book character, Tankgirl without the vowels. And yeah, I'm on all the platforms, but primarily active on Threads, Instagram, and Blue Sky. There is a TikTok. Add my year of birth to my handle. 6'9" is my year of birth. And that's my handle on TikTok. You know, somebody pointed out, somebody that I live with and is smart and is wonderful and has been in my life forever, pointed out that I should not have put 6'9" at the end of my handle. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Incorrect.
I think it's great.
It is great.
It's my year of birth. What are you guys talking about?
What are you going to do?
Anyhow.
Kowtow to the lame brains?
Exactly right. No. So that's where you can find me on social if you want to discuss this podcast with me and Michael and comment and tell us we're wrong about everything. Please do that. And folks, the podcast is at mobiletechpodcast.com. There's an RSS feed there. I'm on all the platforms, you know, YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, blah, blah, blah. If you're here for the first time, please subscribe and tell your friends. And if your app lets you rate or review the show, please do that. And then finally, there's a YouTube channel. I just posted my hands-on video, 6 minutes with all three of these folding phones and the watches.
Heck yeah.
I kind of fast-tracked through it all. YouTube.com/mobiletechpodcast. You know how YouTube works. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, click the bell, comment, all that good stuff. So, Patreon. I mentioned it. Patreon.com/TNKGRL, like my handle, gets you the video version of this podcast every week, a day in advance for $5 a month. And you're going to get a lot of extra content on this show because we went crazy. And
we did.
Bloopers sometimes and fun stuff. So please support me like Mr. Michael Fisher does.
Do it.
Do it.
If you can.
If you can. And then I want to thank our sponsor, Qualcomm. Qualcomm is a global computing leader at the center of the AI era, enabling intelligence to scale from the most personal devices to large-scale infrastructure. Building on more than 4 decades of innovation, Qualcomm develops platforms and solutions that bring together advanced AI, high-performance, low-power computing, and industry-leading connectivity, powering products and services used around the world. Qualcomm engineers human progress. And Michael, thanks for, I know this has been a crazy day. Thanks for just being here. Like, we're both exhausted. Like, it's been a marathon.
It has.
And this is the end. This is, as soon as I end this recording, Michael, I am done.
That is
I can
awesome.
relax.
I love that feeling. Good for you. Good for us. I can mostly relax. If you happen to be on an A350 over the Atlantic and you're sitting in 22K, look down to your right and see if there's a laptop there. I'd appreciate you mailing it back to me.
What airline?
Virgin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know you flew with them.
Well, I'm a Sky Team, you know? Delta.
Oh, Delta Sky Team.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were your partner. That's great.
Delta man.
Folks, stay tuned. I'll have another podcast next week. And I, of course, we'll have Michael back on the show at some point in the future. Until then, cheers, everybody.
And stay mobile.